welcome back to the Man Cave Workshop, and thank you so much for joining me again. Okay, moving on with this set now. I took it, in the last video we took it out of its chassis and I made the schoolboy error. Really, this is a mains radio, so I should have tested it while it was still in its case, but I didn't, and you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing. But we're going to test it anyway. Now it's out of its case, and the way I'm going to do it, like I said, this bench, this power supply to the bench here is run through an isolation transformer, and then I'm going to put the lamp limiter on, which I'm just going to get. It gives us a little bit more safeguard, and I'm going to be extremely careful with this. I've got these props that you might have seen in a video quite a while ago. That they do come in handy for propping up chassis. So I'm going to prop it up on them, and what I'm going to do while it's in this state, there's no speaker connected or anything. I've noticed that there isn't an on-off button on the volume control, so not much info on it. It doesn't look like it had what this pot has, the on-off, you know, like on-off switch. I'm not sure. I'll investigate that later, but it seems a bit weird that they'd do a radio that you can't switch off. Anyway, we're going to plug it in. The volume is totally on 0. Now, if you're going to work on mains radios and stuff, you do it totally at your own risk. It can be dangerous. It can kill you, especially the valve sets. I wouldn't recommend it unless you read up, do some research, make sure you're safe, because you don't want to get injured, obviously. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add power now. I'm not going to touch the thing. I'm standing well clear. I'm not going to touch any of this. That this might be a live chassis. I don't know. I'm going to get a meter, and I'm just going to probe around a little bit. We'll set this onto AC and see if we can't. Can I get it in the camera view? Is it just in view there? I'm not sure. I don't want to go too close to the set. What we'll do, we'll move the lamp limiter over a bit, and then we can put this in the corner. Now, see, obviously the mains lead coming in, I'm expecting to see voltage, but there we go, look. So we got 250 volts there. I don't know if you can see that. It's 250 volts running across there and there. So if I go to the, what I want to do is to see if there's any voltage on this shaft, or even on the case. I'm going to check it all ways that I can to see if there's any live voltage anywhere on the metal case. So I'm going to do it both ways. Absolutely anywhere. I can't see any voltage, and especially on, I want to be looking on where we're going to touch it, if you know, to turn the volume up and down. I'm going to check every single part I can see if there's any voltage running anywhere, because I don't want to get a belt off it. There's them big caps under here. Let's see if we get anything across here. Not that way. Let's try the other way around. There we go. Look at that. There's 230 volts running across that board there. Not sure if you can see it. So if we were to brush against that, that'd give us a bit of a surprise. So yeah, it's basically to show you that you don't want to be messing with main stuff while it's out of the case and touching things. what I'm going to do now, I'm going to switch it off and unplug it. And then again, I'm just going to check some of them caps. Might still have charge in them. So we had that high voltage across there. No, it's released. Is it released completely? Let's check on. Yeah, so it is safe to touch now. Should be safe to touch anywhere. Anyway, because it's unplugged. Like I say, if you're doing this at home yourself, don't be very, very careful with anything main stuff. I'm going to flip it over because I need to be able to get to the controls. Prop it up again. There we go. So we can get to controls. We're going to get some test leads now to connect up the speaker. Okay, we've got the case back. We're still unplugged. We're going to get these test leads to connect the speaker, and we're going to test this this set. Fingers crossed it'll work, because at least we know it's getting power to it from what we've just seen. We know power's getting into the circuit. Let me turn it over again, and let's connect the speaker. Other one. Hopefully these test leads are okay. I've not tested the test leads. Let's turn it back over. So we're not plugged in. We're connected to the speaker. I've got the knobs out. I'm still going to take the safety precaution. These are filthy. Of putting them on, because I did notice that these are sunk into the radio, and the knobs go in, so you know it stops you when the chassis is inside the case. They don't want you to be able to touch any metal, so takes seconds. Let's just put these back on. Makes it easier to use. Right, so we've got the lamp limiter. That's pretty much our only safeguard, as well as the isolation transformer. Let's plug her in. We've tested the plug. We know the fuse is right. We've tested it's getting power. Let's see if we get any sound out of this radio. And if we do, I've looked at some of the big capacitors. I haven't got any in stock, the 150 volts and stuff. I've ordered some just in case. I need some in stock anyway. Just getting a frog in my throat. Let me have a drink. If it does work, we'll put the chassis on one side and we'll do some work on the case, because that needs attention. Okay, on. And we get no sound at all. Oh, we have got sound. I take it that's FM. That's picking up really well. Like I say, there's no off on off here. Let's try medium wave.
Like, you know, you're having a few drinks and you're creating, and do you actually end up in the same room these days or not? Remote my friend.
So I think that establishes, let's switch it off, unplug it, establishes that it does work. So if you're into watching radio restorations that are fault finding, you know, this video isn't for you. If you want to see the case restored, do some safety precautions, basic servicing, then carry on watching. So what I'm going to do now is unplug it all, put the chassis to one side, and have a look at this case. Oh, before we put this to one side, I was having a look at the components on here, and the transistors are Hitachi. What were they? I wrote it down because they're very small to read it. Oh yeah, they were 2S A350s, all these. And they have a metal cap, but they obviously don't suffer too bad from tin whiskers. Okay, let's put this on one side. Okay, so moving on with the case. Sorry if I sound a bit croaky, I'm just recovering. The lurgy finally caught up with me. I'm just finishing off my 5 days isolation. Not nice, but we're not here to talk about that, we're here to talk about radios. So here's the case. It's absolutely filthy in there, so I'm going to have to take this outside and give it a good dust out, hoover, vac it. When we had a look in the last video, there's this huge chip out at the bottom. I'm going to have to address that. Even though it's on the bottom, I don't want to leave it like that. It's missing its original feet, I suppose. It's missing some of the veneer off the grill at the front there. Generally needs a good tidy up, really. So what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to just take it outside, give it a clean down, and then I'm going to start on the base, because you know, you don't. I'm going to practice on here for what I'm going to attempt to do with these bits here. So I'll just take it outside, give it a good clean down, and then get back. Right, okay, we give it a good brush out and hoover. Got rid of most of the bad stuff out of it. Now I'm just going to give it a whole wipe over with a anti-bacterial wipe. See if anything else falls off it. Just be careful around them areas. It's got some sort of... Is it a finish that's coming off? I don't know. Has been something stuck on there? I can't see any evidence of where the badge was. Now what I've decided to do, and I won't film all of this, let's get some moisture on that. We'll start soaking that off. Again, using resources to hand. Outside I had a piece of plyboard that this looks like this is plyboard, and it had been outside in all weathers, and you know when it starts to flake off, well, I save the almost like bark. It's actually pieces of plyboard. And what I'm going to do is to clean out this area and then attempt to cut a piece of this and fit it in, because it is, I don't know if you can see, it's quite a big gouge. It's actually, a layer's gone off it. I suppose we're going to have to watch which way the grain goes. This is dirty, it's been outside, I'll clean all this up. But the thickness of it is absolutely perfect. So I've got, this is an old scraper. Again, I've sharpened the end a little bit, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to start cleaning out, I'm in shot here, I'm going to start cleaning out all the bits to get a nice flush area, so nice and flat, so we can glue a piece in. It's a bit tricky over this way, I might just get some filler for that bit, but certainly this area that's got this big gouge out of it, we'll attempt to fit a piece in. So I suppose you don't want to watch me just scraping away at this, but you get the idea. So I'm going to carry on cleaning that up, and then we'll get a little bit of sandpaper and sand it down so it's nice and flat, and see if we can't cut a piece of this out to fit in there. Is it long enough? Oh, look at that, I think it's just about long enough. I'm wondering if I can tear this, or do I cut a square out at the end there? What I'll do, I'll get on with it, and I'll basically just cut this with scissors. I've already tried. I'll just demonstrate that for you now. You see, I've already tried. Get the scissors the the right way around, it will actually cut fairly okay. And as you can see, that is pretty much the perfect thickness. Okay, I'll get on with this. Just thought I'd film a little bit here. I'll just show you these things. Need a bit. There was this piece that was lying down there now. I'm going to take it out and then cut a piece, hopefully dead square, to fit in there. I think these things, they always tend to look worse before they start getting better. I nearly went straight across it then, so I only use a light amount of pressure on these. It's the underside, so I'm not too worried about it, but I don't obviously don't want it to look a mess. I just wanted to show you that I'm going to cut out to quite a square at the end, make it easier to get a piece of this to fit. Okay. Right, so it's all cleaned out ish. There is a nice edge on it there. That's proud. I want to keep that, and I've cut out a small piece. Not very accurately looking at it, but you can see it's starting to go. So I'm just going to keep slowly trimming bits of this off until it fits. And then I'll show you that when it's done. What I'll do off camera, I'm going to do exactly the same thing for these little pieces that are missing here out of the rest of the plywood. Okay, so it's just a case of just slowly catching up, measure, cut 3 times, measure once and all that. Just so we get a really nice snug fit. Okay. So we're slowly getting there, and it's literally I've started cutting it on the cutting mat, and it's just literally, you can see I'm just shaving it tiny bits off until we're not that far out now. Not sure about that top bit, that might need edging up so it fits, but I'll just show you literally what I'm doing. Come in shot. No, let me get you in here. So I'm literally taking the tiniest, really sharp knife, and literally just, you don't press on really hard at first, just let the knife do the work, practically the weight of the knife. Hopefully you can actually feel the fibres being cut through. Hopefully we've not gone too short, but we're taking tiny amounts off until we get up, and I think that's done it. Yeah, that's quite a snug fit. And then I'll do the same on either end. It's good practice to do this big bit because these bits are going to be fiddly. I'll get on with the whole lot, get all the pieces cut out, and then we'll see how it fits up. So, okay, just to wrap this video up, and we'll carry on with this in the next video. There's little pins in there that we need to pull out that hold the feet on. All I'm going to do is, I found there's this flaking off the plyboard that I've been using. So I think we can glue these little thin bits in here, and that should build up, because it's only very little damage there. Once this is in there, glued in and stained, that'll look much better, much more solid. Now on the front here, I've noticed that this veneer on the front is much thinner than this piece of ply that I'm using. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to glue all these loose ends down to stabilise it before it gets any worse, and then rethink what we're going to do with that. I might build it up with a little bit of filler and then stain it all in. Don't know. The feet at the bottom I found in the garden, some old garden trellis. Now, what I like about it is that it has got this arch on it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look again on Radio Museum at the pictures, and then cut to size. I think I can get feet out of it. You know, if I cut it here to the right size, and they'll do as the feet for it. So for this video, I'm going to wrap it up here, and next time you see it, I'll have glued in these bits and all this will be stabilised, and we can carry on then staining and getting the feet on it. So I hope you enjoyed this this video on the case. There will be a little bit of electrical work, I think, coming up towards the end on this chassis. But it is a working radio, so if it's not broke, why fix it and all that. But for now, thank you very much for joining me, and as always, be good to each other, and I hope to catch you in the next video.